everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sophia. I am a knitter based in Perth. I picked up my first pair of knitting needle back in 2024 and I really got into knitting around 2025 this year. Today, I just wanted to share something a little bit different. I wanted to talk about how much I've spent on my first year of knitting. A bit of a scary topic, but you know what? Life is about lifelong learning, right? Which I think is what's motivated me today to make this YouTube video, so that I can break down the costs and remind myself how much I've spent so far. This is not about showing off or comparing, it's just me being honest, curious, and holding myself accountable too. And most importantly, so that I don't spend unnecessarily as well. Just to clarify, I'm not even going to talk about yarn in this video. I don't really say no very often to things, which makes me an excellent consumer for knitting companies to market to, for any companies to market to be honest. But I'm learning to spend in a way that brings me joy rather than guilt. And knitting is definitely one of those things that does that. So let's dive into what I bought, what I actually used, what I've regretted buying, what I don't really use but still love anyway. So I think I'm going to break this video down to tools and notion. I will save the best for the last, which are the knitting needles. But I think I'm going to start with maybe some accessories, locking tools, and some little knickknacks that can be quite cute as well. So this year, I've actually also traveled quite a bit. Very lucky to be able to do that, and I've bought some stuff from different countries as well. I'm going to maybe convert these currencies into, say, Sing dollars, as most of this stuff I bought in Singapore, and then calculate the total in Sing dollars as well. Converted my total to Aussie dollars in the end, so that we can have a little comparison too. Alright, so let's start with some cute stitch markers and maybe some needle holders. Exciting things. These are some Yarn Tubbies stitch marker that I got from Shanghai, China's. They're actually very inexpensive. I don't exactly remember how much it is, but I managed to check a lot of these prices online as well. And if I go to Xiaohongshu, to Yarn Tubbies little Chinese Instagram website, they listed this for 15 Chinese yuan, which is really inexpensive. It's probably like 3 Sing dollars or maybe like 4 Australian, and they're so cute as well. I do lose these all the time though. But hopefully slowly but surely they'll all come back to me. It comes with beautiful pastel colors, and they are magnetic too. Next, I have this beautiful Clover stitch markers that I brought from Osaka. Again, I've checked it on the website as well, and the stitch markers are 1,287 yen, Japanese yen, which converted to about 12 Sing dollars. It comes in different sizes. They're also very handy. This is a little tub of Santa's Garn light bulb stitch markers that I've gotten from Calico and Ivy in Perth. The price tag is still there, so it's quite easy to remember. They're 1080 Australians, 950 Sing dollars. I lose these all the time too, so you can never have too much stitch markers. When I bought something online from ballsofjoys.sg, they actually has kindly given me some beautiful stitch markers as well. This one has Knitting Diva on it, it says. And then there's also 2 more of this little yarn ball and beautiful crystal balls. They've given it to me for free. And I really like this little touch. Thank you so much, Balls of Joys. Moving on to needle stoppers. I've gotten these cute little needle stoppers as well from Yarn Tubbies in China. They come in little cactus shape. They're also very inexpensive, I think. They're about 15 Chinese yen, which is again $3. More needle stopper. I have got this little sunflower shaped needle stoppers. They are something that I bought from Shopee in Singapore. They're $4.50 for maybe 2 or 3 pairs. Really cute. When I was in Korea in Banul story, I have picked up this really cute labels. They are just little labels for you to sew on to your finished object. They're very inexpensive as well. I've just checked on the website and they're like 30 cents USD each. So I'm just gonna calculate them to be maybe like 2 Sing dollars in total. I like cute things. They actually give me so much joy growing up, you know, I was never really girly. So I never knew, like, as an adult, I would actually be a sucker for all these cute things. But look, here we are. When I was in Japan, I've also gotten this knitting ring. It's mainly for you to do color work on it. I thought I would buy it to help me with my tension, but I never really used it. So I'm just gonna wait and see once I start doing color work. Maybe I can use this to separate the yarn. They're about 545 yen each, about $10 in total, so $5 Sing each. I got myself some cable needles as well. I did see on Instagram how to knit cable without, you know, cable holders, but I'm too scared to do that. So I went into Calico and Ivy in Perth, and I've gotten some cable stitch holders, and they're about 7 to 8 Australian dollars for 3 of them. And they came really handy, and they you know, allow me to make these beautiful cable patterns. And I'm really excited to start knitting more cables because I really like them. While I was knitting this t-shirt, I had a row counter with me as well. I got this in Japan. I cannot find how much it is. The closest Australian website that I found have listed them for like 13 Australian dollars. Just a quick note, everybody. I probably will add on like the website link on the description below so that you guys can see how much it costs as well. Those are the places that I've gotten the prices from. This is one of my latest purchased. When I was in Singapore in Cast On Yarn shop, Cecilia has kindly given me some cords to help me with my knitting, and they came really handy as well when I was knitting these sleeves. So I decided to just grab another pack, and they're quite inexpensive. They're about $7 for maybe 10 or 20 of them in it. It's a lot, it's a whole pack in it. My first set of blocking pins, Knit Pro T-pins. This Knit Pro T-pins that I have gotten from Singapore in a place called Yarning Hearts. They were $7 Sing. So when I first started using them, it was to block like gauge swatches, but I find them to be a bit too small. You would have to use a lot of pins to pin it down. When I finished my first garment, I've gotten myself some rainbow blockers, and they came really handy. These ones are way bigger, and you get to pin down like bigger objects as well. They cost about 31 Sing dollars, and I got it in a place called Craft Atelier in Singapore. I bought some sock blockers on Shopee. These are wooden sock blockers that I've gotten from Shopee in Singapore. Sorry about the plastic noise. And they cost about 18 Sing dollars. I don't know how I feel about them because they only come in one size. And my socks are all small and these are way too big. So I've never really used them because even if I want to take photos on them, it's just the sock that I knit don't fit them. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Maybe I'll just give it away on Facebook Marketplace or something. But if anyone wants it, let me know. They will suit like large adult size socks though. So if anyone wants it with Brighton Perth, let me know and I might just give it away. For my knitting mat, bought like a Target play mat that costs like 10 Australian dollars as well. I'm not gonna show that to you guys. It's nothing really exciting. If I find a picture online, then maybe I'll put it here. Bling! Next, we have this yarn ball winder. I think you guys already know how I feel about this, judging by how easily it comes apart. I got this from Shopee as well. Let's say it's for about $18. It does the job. It really does the job. But the annoying thing is that this part pops up super easily. So I have winded only one skein of yarn into cake and it really was so annoying. But it does the job, you know. And like this part is also quite flimsy, like where you hold the yarn. Down the line, I will definitely upgrade myself to a proper one. For my first one, it's not too bad for an inexpensive one. But you know, there's a saying in Chinese, whatever set you pay for, you get what you pay for. Actually, yeah, you get what you pay for. Literally, that's the saying in Chinese. You know, I'm not the biggest fan, but this is one thing that I would use still. I think one day I'm gonna get frustrated with this and definitely upgrade it soon. Maybe a bit later. That's the whole purpose of this video. To remind myself not to spend so much. So I think we've gotten the nitty-gritty out of the way, and we are on the way to the exciting part. Let's start with my very first pair of knitting needle. I started knitting 2024. I started, wanting to knit my partner a little balaclava. So I bought this pair of wooden knitting needles. I don't have it anymore because the tip has just, I've completely destroyed it. My knitting tension was too tight, I think, or I don't know how to hold the needle properly. So the tip of the bamboo needle it's gone. But that pair of needle, it's from Knit Pro. Or Knitter's Pride in the US. It's the basic interchangeable bamboo needle that I've gotten from Crosswave Fibers in Sophia in Perth. It cost me about $8.5 Australian dollars. And then I've also bought the cord as well to go with it because I wanted to, I read up about interchangeable needles and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go dive straight into interchangeable needles. I won't even try like straight needles or like DPNs or anything like that. So I got like the basic interchangeable needle tip and the cord separately. The cord cost about $8.5 as well, Australian. So that was my first pair of knitting needle, and that project totally failed because I got tired of it. So after that, I bought myself a pair of Stifoni needle as well, and I really didn't like it. I just never really got into like bamboo or wooden needle. That cost me about $13.90, Australian. Then I moved on to my very, very first pair of socks. And it's also my very first finished objects. And I went ahead and bought myself the Zing Pro metal needles in 2.5mm, 100 centimeters. I'll show it to you guys. It's this pair, US size 1.5 Zing Pro metal knitting needles, 100 centimeter. I knitted my first pair of socks with magic loop. It was a successful finished object, but I think my tension was so tight again, and then when I was like moving the stitches, it keeps getting caught on the cord over here. It did the job, but I wanted to try something else. So I went ahead and bought myself the Addy Circular 2.25 because I wanted to try a different pair, and I love the joint on these needles. Also, if you guys don't know how to like store your needles properly, I would love to have a little like here, say, and see how you guys store your needles. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I do see how people store their needles, but I'm a nosy person sometimes. Any input is welcome. I've just stored all my extra needles into this pouch that I have that I will show it to you guys later. Anyway, this is my second pair of sock knitting needles. They are the Addy 2.25mm, 120 centimeter cord needle length, and I love it. I love how smooth the joint is. The only thing that I don't love about it is how coiled the cables are. It does say, to put them in hot water and they will loosen up a little bit, but once it dries up, it coils back again. So I found it very, very annoying, even though I love how smooth these needles are. The Addy circular needles cost 16.5 Australian dollars. Love it, would definitely keep using it, but maybe for some bigger, garment object. After the success of the socks, I wanted to start knitting bigger project. So that was the time that we started traveling as well. In China, in yarn tubbies, I have 4mm here, metal needles. Super, super, super sharp tip. Love them. Keep stabbing myself with them, but they really work. And they cost about, I don't remember exactly how much it costs in Chinese yuan because I do not have the receipt, but online it says they are about $15. I estimated it was probably about 80 Chinese yuan, to be honest. I went to another yarn shop and I got myself another pair of bamboo needles because I had my eyes set on buying a pair of bamboo needles from Japan because Japan's renowned for their bamboo needles. They're very, very famous for it. And I was eyeing on Sinit. We were in Osaka. To get to the Sinit main store, it was quite a journey. So I didn't end up buying Sinit's needle in Osaka, but I got Clover needles instead. So when we were in China, in another yarn store called Huigui Xian, I got myself this pair of Japanese size 8 Clover, which is about 4.5mm US in an 80 centimeter cord. And I had them as well, and I tried them a little bit, and you know what, I was like, I quite liked them. I like how smooth they were. Estimated, I think it's about 20 USD. I'm just gonna say that. But it could be way more expensive or way cheaper. I'm not sure. When we were in Japan, Osaka, I bought myself a set of bamboo interchangeable knitting needles. This is the Takumi combo Clover. I got it in a yarn store in Osaka that I am not going to try and pronounce the name. I do have the website link and I have the price for this set. It's 17,820 Japanese yen, which when I do the calculation, it's about 160 Sing dollars. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pairs of knitting needles. The only thing is that this set comes in Japanese knitting needle size, and there are two like 8mm and 10mm needles, but the rest are in Japanese knitting needle size, so you do have to convert it online. It comes with 5 cords as well. The cord length are 50 centimeters, 60 centimeters, 80 centimeters, 100 centimeters, and 120 centimeters. And it comes with 2 darning needles as well. 2 darning needles in here, the needle stopper, and this super sharp yarn cutter. I think this itself online is like 10 USD. So I think it was quite like a very good buy. I haven't really used as much of these bamboo needles yet, but once I finish this object, I can give a better review as well. This set doesn't come with the hole, you know, for you to tighten it, so you really have to tighten the cables by yourself quite tightly, or else it might come off. The cables are also swivel cables. That's a good advantage of it. I plan to use the bamboo needles mainly for like silk, because silk are a lot slippery, but so far, you know, they are not as sharp as metal needles. So I'll let you guys know how I find them. As I was saying, I really wanted to try the sealant needles. I've already purchased the long sets of bamboo interchangeable needles, and I did not want to buy another long set of bamboo interchangeable needles. I figured, you know what, I might get shorties and try it. But being the maximalist that I am, I did not just buy one shorties because I like having my options. So I ended up buying the Sealant shorty sets. And now I have with me a set of shorty needles from Sealant. I bought 2 individual sets and I've gotten 8 knitting needles. But to get this pouch that comes with it, you have to spend a certain amount of money in that store. I got this from Yarning Hearts as well. There was an option to buy like the set of like 8 for like $200. It comes with a pouch then. But I bought the shorties set of 4 in separately because they're way cheaper. They are 65 Sing dollars each for 4 knitting needles. And then individually then I bought size 5.5, size 6, and size 2mm with 1 extra cord. And that brought me up to the amount that I needed to get this pouch for free. Talking about shorties, I also have this pair of 2mm ChiaoGoo shorty combo, just in case I really like them compared to the Sealant shorties. These I got from Cast On Yarn Shop. They are the twist short combo in 2 inch and 3 inches. So you get 2 pairs of knitting needles and 2 pair of cables as well. So technically, 2 knitting needles. They are $42.90 in Sing dollars. Before I went to Japan, I actually got myself a pair of proper long Sealant needles as well from Yarning Hearts too, just to try it on. I got them in 3.5mm. They're Koshisu, 3.5mm in 13 centimeters. They're 17 Sing dollars, and I've gotten the cables to go with it too. And the cables are about $9 each, and I got 2 cables to go, one 60 centimeters and one 80 centimeters. That's when I realized that I really like these bamboo needles, and I decided to purchase myself a set of bamboo needles too. But the thing is, with this Sealant needles, it also doesn't come with a hole that comes with, say, the ChiaoGoo needles. That was also part of my hesitation of, you know, buying a full set of Sealant needles as well, because they are quite expensive too for bamboo needles. And when I started knitting with them, I realized that because I'm unable to tie them down all the way, they do come off quite easily. So that's the only thing that I have to say about them. Now for the piece de resistance, I ended up buying myself the full set of ChiaoGoo needles, and I really like them. Before buying them, I did lots of research on YouTube. I had a little hearsay by some of the YouTubers over here and their reviews for the ChiaoGoo needles, and I spoke to a lot of knitters as well, and they all say that ChiaoGoo needle is their favorite, which is why, you know, I've tried Adi, I tried Here, tried Knitter's Pride on Knit Pro as well, and I decided to take the plunge. When I was back home in Singapore, they do come in different price set. Me wanting my best deal, I bought them in this shop called Tiny Rabbit Hole for $210. 5-inch knitting needles in the full set, ta-da! And separately, I bought myself the 3mm needles as well. I don't remember where I got this actually. I think maybe it's Cast On Yarn Shop, I'm not quite sure. I love them, absolutely love them. They're so smooth. They're sharp, but not too sharp. They don't jab me like how the Here needles do. I've used mainly the small needles. I haven't moved on to the big needles yet, but once winter come around, I might try. I don't think I will ever use this. These are like massive. They're actually the 10mm ones, so I do have 2 pairs of them because I do have a pair in the bamboo ones. Nothing bad to say about them. They've come in 2 sets of 3 lengths. They've got needle stoppers, they've got tightening keys with them, you know, they've got adapters, connectors. Love them. They've got the lifelines as well, which are a lifesaver. I love it. And I would highly recommend it actually. This is a set that I would never let go. And I think this set will go with me like for a long way. Now, because I love this ChiaoGoo so much, when I was buying the shorties, I was deciding between, you know, ChiaoGoo shorties or CKnit shorties. I ended up buying CKnit shorties because I wanted CKnits. But I don't know, maybe down the lines I'll sell the CKnits away and I'll buy myself ChiaoGoo shorties. As I was saying, I started knitting by knitting socks, and I'm obsessed with knitting socks. And in fact, I currently have a work in progress at the moment, knitting 2 at a time socks. These are just a pair of vanilla socks that I am knitting my partner. It was meant to be for his birthday, but I think it's going to be for a Christmas gift now. Currently, the needles that I have on them are 2.25mm, which is US size 1. Don't know what cord size they are. I actually bought myself a set of the ChiaoGoo mini set in 5-inch too. Love it because I think I've really wanted to keep knitting socks, and I really like fine needles and fine knitting, but I just don't have the patience. But I figured, you know, it's more worth it for me to buy like a set so that down the line I will definitely use it. I bought online from Balls of Joy, which gave me the stitch markers that I love so much. These are 125 Sing dollars. So when I was buying the mini needles, I bought the interchangeable adapters as well in small to mini and large to small. These are just in case, you know, I have the cords and I can use like lots of them interchangeably if I need it. They are $9 each, so they're $18 in total. In Balls of Joy, when I bought this set, they gave me a free cable as well. They are 37-inch, which is 93mm. I'm Chinese, I'm supposed to be good at maths, sorry. So, my grand total, I spent about 1,060 Sing dollars ever since I've started knitting back in 2024 on my knitting tools and Notion. I do enjoy it very much though, you know, I'm not regretting it. It doesn't mean that you do have to spend so much to enjoy knitting. I myself is a maximalist. I've restrained myself a lot because I really want everything in life. Oh, it's such a bad thing, isn't it? But having spent so much, I think this coming year, next year, I probably don't need anything else or anything much to tools-wise to spend. I probably might end up selling some of the shorty needles and buy ChiaoGoo down the line. But let's see, I'll keep you guys updated. One thing I learned is to invest in the tools that make you happy, invest in things that make you happy. So I definitely have bought some things that aren't really necessary, but they brought me joy, and that's part of the fun too. Thank you so much for watching this peek into my knitting tool collections. Ever since starting my knitting journey, it's definitely taught me a lot of patience. It's taught me a lot to just keep going. It's taught me to see things through and finish it, and most importantly, to have faith in myself. I know that I have learned a lot of things as well with whatever hobbies that I have started with, and especially in knitting, I have met lots of different people, have lots of different conversations as well, and learn a lot in life too. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and maybe leave a comment below about what your favorite knitting tool is, and maybe what's the most expensive thing that you have spent on knitting so far, excluding yarn, because yarn again is a whole other scary topic. Until next time, happy knitting, and I will see you again. Thanks.